We'll start our discussion today, and if people join, we'll continue further. I hope I am audible as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, today's topic is on therapeutic usage of yoga. So, generally, when we talk about therapeutic usage of yoga, we talk about how postures can help us in with various diseases, etc. But actually, if you look at therapeutic usage of yoga, the answer is quite broad, and how we apply it is also very different. So it is not one-to-one mapping of that this set of postures will help you heal this disease. So if you do 5 postures, this will help you overcome, say, hypertension. Or if you do these 5 postures, it will help you with your digestion. So even though that statement is partly correct, but if I want to get into the details of therapeutic usage of yoga, or how yoga can actually heal me, then I have to look at a very broad picture of my own health, my own habits, what leads to a particular kind of disease, and how yoga can help at multiple levels of me being pushed from a dysfunctional state to a state where I have a disease. Diseases are built over time, some of them. And yoga can play a role in stopping that disease at a earlier stage where it is still at a stage of dysfunction and has not completely transformed into a disease. So we have to expand our viewpoint on how yoga can help us not only tackle a problem which has reached a point where it needs medical intervention, but prior to that as well. And we also have to expand our understanding of what can cause a disease, which means how our habits, how we use our body, how our lifestyle, how our daily routine, all of these things are arranged so that we live a quality life, or we live a life which is imbalanced in certain sense, and then those lead to some kind of problem. So this is what therapeutic yoga can be expanded into, or rather should be expanded into, that how do I use yoga to help me find answers where self-regulation, where body imbalances and lifestyle, all these things could be tackled to get a more healthy, more balanced body, which is more functional and more usable, which again impacts my quality of life. So let me open this up with a question to all of you, that how do you think yoga has healed you? Or like when you say yoga has helped you, then give me examples or share your experience a little that yoga has helped you in such and such way. So yeah, do share your inputs on that, and then that will help me expand.
Okay. Yoga helps me in day to day life. In day to day life, for my energy, I experience always if I gap in practice, then my energy become low. That
Okay.
is one point I notice, and my
Mhm.
flexibility, my mobility.
Okay.
I have to do hard work because I have a paid dog, a
Okay.
large breed dog. That's why I have to give much physical pressure. I have to take that responsibility. But
Uh,
yoga helped me in that way. I could understand. But
okay.
and also a confidence that my body can take this responsibility, take this pressure, that I can understand always because I'm doing yoga.
Okay. So in that sense, you have a better body mind. You can assess your own body.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right.
And also when I practicing my yoga, that time I can also feel that what is the weaker side of my body and what is the strength of my body, which portion is much stronger. this I can. So in that way, a body awareness is happening in day to day life.
Practice. Okay. So your this has resulted primarily into strength and awareness aspect of your health. Anybody else, how yoga has healed them or helped them? Either of the questions you could answer that. If it has helped you heal yourself or it has helped you in any other way, please share your thoughts and then I get into the details of therapeutic yoga today.
Okay, so it calms my mind and this anxiety. During COVID, I joined this yoga. So that
Okay.
time it was such a situation. Through that yoga, I felt that the alignment of my thoughts and my body all are disoriented.
Okay.
But yoga helped me to first the awareness of my own self breathing. Breathing,
Hmm.
it helps a lot. And the
Okay.
calmness of my mind, then my thoughts, what I am thinking, whatever work I am doing, whether I am doing in a happy mood or just I have to do, that also difference I felt it because
Okay.
of, I feel that way yoga helped me and that way.
If I take yoga not only as an exercise, but holistically, like the lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
then learning from you, especially, and learning from the others, I have come to realize, like Sujishmita said, which is the weaker part of my body, which can take all the exercises. I have an idea about it. Regarding the pranayams, it helps me a lot. And it not only calms the mind, but it also helps the body, like fighting diseases, and then not always being aware of the aches and pains in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And regarding my diet, I follow a lot what you teach. And it has really helped me to stay fit. And mostly, what I think is it has helped me to rewire my mind, not pay attention to things which are not important, and attention to things which I should attention to. That
Okay.
has really helped me a lot. Like people, food, everyday life in
Mm.
all aspects.
Okay. Okay. Great. I will use your inputs actually to, a- as I progress, I want to share 5 different mechanisms of how healing happens through yoga. And all the inputs that you are providing me right now, they fall into different categories. So I will come back to what you are sharing with me in a while. So Chismita, you have something to add. Please share.
I would like to add something more. What I said earlier, that yoga also teaches me to concentrate, to focus. It is not only happening in the body; it also plays a key role in mind too.
Mind. Thank you for your inputs. This is something that I wanted to highlight, that when we talk about therapeutic usage of yoga, I'm not only talking about a set of postures helping me handle a particular disease. So the approach yoga takes is quite broad, and from a dysfunctional imbalance state to a state where I am exposing myself to disease, there's a journey that the body travels. And when I have a certain disease, then medical intervention is necessary, and I cannot escape that. And no matter what, yoga always plays a supportive role if you have what you call a disease. So if you have, say, chronic blood pressure issue, then you will need the help of the medicine. Yoga will play the supportive role that it can and help you reduce your dosage over a period of time. And eventually, hopefully, you will be off your medication if you have followed the dietary rules, if you have managed your stress, plus you have used yoga properly. But then, therapeutic usage of yoga is more pronounced when we are at a dysfunctional state. So, if I can understand that I have chronic stress, I'm not sleeping well, plus I somehow understand that my diet is also off, off track and is not in line with what you call balanced diet, then there is a high possibility that I may be exposing myself to chronic hypertension. And if I start using yoga and the benefit it brings me at that point, when I'm still not under medication, it will be more important then. plus the impact of breathing, my regulation of nervous system. These are key factors when I talk about therapeutic usage of yoga. So this is what this discussion will be about. Today and next 8 sessions, we will be discussing how yoga can help us in different scenarios. And this is to improve our understanding of the body and our understanding of how we can put yoga to use. I would like that you all can over WhatsApp share with me that which particular aspect of your health you want me to expand upon so that I can give you a therapeutic lens on that particular aspect. Let's say you want to understand about digestion, or you want to understand about anxiety, or you want to understand about, say, lung capacity, anything that is related to your body, which concerns your wellness. If you want me to put a therapeutic lens to it, I will do that. You can share your personal questions as well. I will take time to expand on it in subsequent sessions. So I have decided that let's go through the therapeutic usage of yoga and how it impacts the body. And in doing so, let us understand our body as well as we go along for next 8 sessions. Rita, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just asking, 8 session means 1 day per week or 2 days per week?
No, Monday is our day for wellness wisdom. So wellness wisdom dedicated to uh,
Mondays.
yeah. So every
Monday.
Monday for next 8 Mondays we will be
Eight.
discussing this.
Oh, thank you.
So today we will go through the broader concepts, and then as we go along, we will go into the nitty-gritties of it. So what is the difference between a regular yoga class and a therapeutic yoga class, or therapeutic usage of yoga, or when I have decided that I will use yoga for therapeutic reasons? One of the primary differences is that when you do a regular yoga class, you start with a point of view that you are going to use yoga for regular fitness reasons, where you are substituting other forms of exercise through yoga. So, yoga becomes your way to use your body, which in itself is a very valid reason to practice yoga. But then, when you are substituting yoga for exercise, the mindset is that my body is more or less balanced. I'm utilizing it to improve my body. When I use it for therapeutic reasons, it is need based. So I understand that I have an anxiety issue, and I will design my yoga class, which can be a mix of yoga postures, pranayam, meditation, yoga nidra, all put together in a way so that it helps me handle anxiety. Or I design my yoga class in a way that it helps me handle my digestion related issues, because my origin of imbalance is from digestion. So I pick up an issue or a set of issues that are troubling me, and I design my yoga session in a way that I can handle that primarily. And if with that I get some exercise, well and good. And if with that I don't get an exercise, no problem. I have other means of exercise as well. So yoga could be an alternate to a whole exercise routine, or it could be used just for its therapeutic reasons. Sometimes it is just for back pain, or sometimes it is just for weight related issues. Sometimes it is for anxiety or sleep related issues. So these are issue based practices which slowly expands into a full class. But first and foremost, the individualized attention needs to be given, and then it can be expanded. So, from a layperson's perspective, whether I should be doing a regular yoga class, or should I be doing a therapeutic yoga class or an individualized class, the distinction is that if you have something which is not acute, like you have slight degree of pain in your back, you have stress related issue, or you have digestion related issues, or you have knee pain, etc. So if everything is in a manageable condition, we club them together as lifestyle related issues, which can be handled in a regular yoga class, because a yoga class should handle things which are producing imbalance in your body, but in a manageable range. If you have, say, slip disc, or if you have arthritis, which is not manageable, or you are in a state of mind which is producing a lot of stress to you, or you are unable to sleep and you are suffering from insomnia, if there are several things that are happening which is beyond a manageable limit, and you need special intervention, then you go for individualized therapeutic yoga. So the distinction between a regular yoga class and a therapeutic yoga class is genuine. However, a regular yoga class comes with a great deal of therapeutic benefits, but the focus is slightly different. Could I make my point clear, or could I put it across? All right. Now, how does yoga actually get into this whole act of therapy, being therapeutic? So there are five main areas which I have selected. So first and foremost, I say that it is helpful to handle nervous system, and nervous system regulation is a key area for for the therapeutic usage of yoga. So if you are hyperactive, you are always under this idea that you are stressed, whether there is external condition for stress or not, you are continuously in that fight or flight mode. This particular state of mind is the bane of modern society. So from getting from fight to flight mode to your rest and repair mode, this journey yoga helps you achieve very nicely. And this is where your nervous system regulation comes into play. Observable signs of this kind of behavior, where you are continuously stressed, can be seen throughout the body. Say your jaws are clenched, or your shoulders are tight, or you are continuously have your arms tied down, or you are making a fist, or you feel that your back is continuously under strain. You have poor quality of sleep. You are getting irritated, or you are snapping at people quite easily. So these are all visible signs that you are being stressed at a nervous system level. And yoga is a very good practice to help you calm down and relax the visible signs as well as internally. So, we will have a full session where we will talk about nervous system regulation and how our vagus nerve. There is a theory which is called polyvagal theory. So, we will get into the impact of yoga on our nervous system, and how that impact itself can be useful to tackle so many lifestyle related issues, from hypertension to irritable bowel syndrome. So this is one key area where yoga impacts us, regulating our nervous system. Now, second, breath normalization. Now, breath normalization and stress are correlated. The moment you are stressed, you do not breathe properly. Either you will breathe short, or you will breathe just from the chest, or you will breathe too fast, or you will have a very high palpitation. So your breath needs to be normalized, and yoga again focuses so much on the breath. You will see that your heart rate, your breathing capacity, your lung capacity, everything gets impacted, even if you are not doing pranayam specifically, even if you're a full hour long of yoga, that will help you calm down, and that will help you breathe normally. One, it regulates your nervous system. Two, throughout your yoga class, you are inhaling and exhaling in a regulated manner. So every time you are going up, you are inhaling with a movement. Every time you are bending forward, you are exhaling with a movement. While holding a pose, made aware of how you are breathing. If you are holding the breath, that's a sign that you are clenching your muscles unnecessarily. So many ways breath comes back to us, and our breath awareness is what we work upon even though very silently in a yoga class, we are still working on our breath. Chest breathing, holding of breath, mouth breathing, rapid breathing. These are all things that can be tackled very easily if we are doing yoga practice. If we get into pranayama, then it rewires how we breathe completely. But even if we don't get into pranayama initially and we only have time for yoga postures, if done correctly, that also helps us breathe properly. Our physical and mental condition are connected. So anxiety, fatigue, stress, depression, uh, they impact how we breathe. Similarly, how we breathe impacts our mental state and physical state as well. So it's a both way traffic and it becomes a vicious circle. If I am breathing short, my mind thinks I am supposed to be stressed. And if I am stressed, I breathe short. So when there is no external reason for me to be stressed, and still if I'm breathing short, then you will find that there is a unsaid anxiety that troubles you. You don't know the reason for that anxiety, but still there is a silent hum that makes you feel that there is something to be anxious about. So this is where breath regulation comes in. And if you know how to regulate breath and there is a real cause of stress, then the capacity that you can breathe in a normal way, even when stressed, helps your mind to relax and perform at an optimum level. So it's a both way connection. Now think that you breathe short. That shortness of breath produces stress. That stress produces muscle stiffness. That muscle stiffness, when you, with that stiffness, you go and exercise hard, that can be a serious cause for injury. So it's a roundabout way, but then this is a very real thing that happens to us. So this is how it is connected, and we will explore more on breathing and how we should breathe and what is the impact of breathing on yoga in one whole session. So that is one of the things that I want to focus on. Now, third point on discussion, detailed discussion we'll go in for is movement repatterning. Say you were talking about weakness, one side is weak and one side is strong, that awareness when you have, what happens when you are not aware of your bodily imbalances, for example, that say left side is slightly more stiff and slightly weaker, while right side is more strong and more flexible. So this imbalance in the body plays out in real life. And when this plays out, you don't know how you injure yourself as you participate. Say, for example, you have to do something which was not in your regular task. You have to lift something, or you have to run, or you have to stretch unnecessarily. Then that imbalance causes you pain or causes you to feel discomfort. Now, this awareness that there is imbalance helps you work on that imbalance. There is a strong way we can work on imbalances of strength and flexibility. That is what we will discuss in movement repatterning. So, a very important aspect of our physical life, how the imbalances of the body can be worked upon. How do you induce imbalance? For example, a very common example that comes back to us when we are teaching is, if you have a habit of carrying a handbag or a laptop bag on your right shoulder, this creates a strain on your right shoulder so much that either this becomes weak or is pushed down or is stiff, or you feel chronic pain on the right side for no reason. If you sleep in a way where your shoulders are pressed, then this side of the arm gets continuously pressed for 6 8 hours. This kind of sleep position produces a pain which needs to be tackled. So you first have to be aware that why there is a imbalance or a pain and what kind of reorientation of the body is required. So this you can do through yoga. Small little imbalances that can become big problem either you have to become aware and change yourself, and if you are aware and you know that you have acquired an imbalance, then that imbalance can also be restored. So this is something that can happen. So a very important step towards our ease of movement. So this is something that we will discuss in detail. Fourth prop area that I want to focus on is how do we train our attention to how we breathe, attention to how we think, attention to what we feel, attention to bodily imbalances, attention to what kind of thoughts we engage in. So, this attention training is extremely important, because if I'm not aware of my body, if body mind connection is not there, then I cannot stop myself from acquiring a disease, or I cannot bring about change in my lifestyle. So, this attention training becomes my next most important thing. If I don't know that my jaws are clenched, then until unless somebody points it out to me, I will not know that my jaws are clenched, and I will not know that this is because of a thought in my mind which I'm repeating always. So, stress leading to physical exhibition of stress, this connection needs to be studied. And who will study it but ourselves? This is what you call attention training. And if we were taught attention training right from the word go, from our childhood, we could have evolved as much better human beings who will be responsible for their wellness. Say mindful eating, for example. What happens when you eat, and when you eat only for taste, you forget about everything else and keep gobbling up things at a speed where mind does not register anything else but the idea of taste. But if you are hooked to something and you are taught how to eat it mindfully, savor it, understand its impact on your palate, understand its impact on the body, understand how it helps you find joy, understand how much of it you really need and how much of it is habit, you will become such an evolved eater who is not driven by taste. It's not that taste will not matter, but that compulsive eating will go away if you are driven by understanding of how you eat. So, mindful eating is the result of attention training. Yoga helps you do that. And if somebody can train themselves into analyzing and being more aware of themselves, they will do so much justice to the idea of quality of life. And finally, behavioral reset, where I can bring about lifestyle related changes, where routine, sleep regulation, mindful eating, self care behavior, these could be included. So this will take care of my circadian rhythm, which will impact my hormones, which will impact my digestion, which will impact my recovery. So there's a whole set of things we could address by changing our behavior. And behavior could only be changed if I can be aware of it. So attention training is a kind of training that we go through in yoga, which can be utilized in reshaping my behavior. So these are five broad areas where I will bring in yoga, and we will see how these five areas can be impacted by yoga and how they help us deal with most lifestyle related issues. Any thoughts, any inputs here, please? Now, there are three words that I have been
So one
using.
question. So when
Yes,
you
sir.
say attention training, so I noticed sometimes my legs shake,
Yeah,
right? Without
yeah,
understanding. Is that part of that or is that hidden stress?
yeah. Attention. So that you are aware that your leg is shaking is part of the awareness aspect. Then comes why it is shaking, wherein it could be stress, it could be habit, it could be nervous system regulation, whatever is required to be done, then it could be done. But if you don't know that your legs are shaking, then the situation may go out of hand, and then only you may realize something of that has happened. So I know of a gentleman who had this habit of hitting his toe on his working desk. So he will work and continuously hit his toe there. After every few weeks, I would find the big toe of his right leg would be blue. So one day I asked him, and he didn't know from where he would acquire that feeling of pain. Upon further questioning, we realized that he has this silent habit of hitting his toe very mildly, very gently, continuously on his desk. So he wasn't aware of it, and he was suffering from that habit for multiple years, probably. So, if I- I'm just giving you an example that how we hurt ourselves and we still don't know about it. Poor posture during sleep or improper posture during sleep, we engage with it, we come up with a stiff neck or a bad shoulder or a upper arm, and we still continue with it, and we don't know how to handle that, because when we fall asleep, we just let go of the body. We have no idea how we are sleeping.
Okay. Thank you.
First is that you need to train for attention, and then we find out other way, go deeper into it. Three words that I have been using is, one is disease, another is dysfunction, and another is imbalance. So let us broadly look at these three terms. Now, for example, disease is something that can be diagnosed pathologically, for which you need medical help, either in terms of medicine, or you go to a doctor, get yourself fully checked, and then if there is, either it could be intervention through surgery, etc., or it could be medicine and set of medicines. If your problem has reached the stage of disease, yoga will always play a supportive role. It cannot be a substitute to medicines. This is something that we must clarify, because you will find there is lot of hyperbole amongst yoga enthusiasts also, who will claim that you can cure yourself from any disease if you are practicing yoga. This will be incorrect and disrespectful. So just be mindful of the fact that yoga will not help you replace medicines right from the word go, but it can help you in the long term. You can manage a lot of your body and what goes on in your body through lifestyle related changes and through yoga practice. But then it is not a substitute. So disease is something that has been pathologically detected, and you have to do something about it. Go visit a doctor. And so a diabetes, or some, say you have a disc prolapse, or you say, for example, you have hurt your ankle and you need to go and see a doctor for it. So that's a medical condition, that's a disease. Now, what is dysfunction? So, say, for example, you have shallow breathing, or you have a posture, or you stress too much. So, these are states where you are producing dysfunction in the body because of external inputs or your habits. So, this is where your body has not reached the disease level. These poor lifestyle choices and poor habit patterns can push you towards a disease, but yet you have not reached that level. So, this dysfunction and your disease are two separate things which needs to be dealt differently. Then you have an imbalance where you see mind coming into play, where your restlessness, dullness, emotional reactivity. So these are where your imbalances of the mind come into play. Imbalance of the body we have touched upon when we were talking about movement. But then there is an imbalance in the mind that results into a certain kind of behavior. So disease, dysfunction, and imbalances of the mind, which can result into different problems. So these are three words that we will keep using, and we will be expanding upon each one of them. So some examples of dysfunction leading to disease is, for example, chronic stress, which can lead to hypertension. Sedentary lifestyle can lead to type 2 diabetes. Poor postures can lead to chronic back pain. Then your sleep deprivation can lead to metabolic disorders. So these are few examples of how a poor habit, badly handled situation over a long period of time can push me towards disease. If it is chronic stress, I should be actively worried about the fact that I'm not doing something about handling my stress. Now, when I have chronic stress, my initial response for most people is to either smoke, drink, or go towards comfort food. And all the three things will harm your body. And while your body is at its weakest during stress, your immune system is the least active or least effective. And that time you are providing your body with the most difficult things to handle. Then again, there is a cascading impact of how stress is resulting into a certain kind of behavior not only pushes you towards hypertension but other related problems. Similarly, if you look at sleep results into so many problems, and we think that sleeping less is okay or it is manageable. But if I am sleep deprived and if I allow that to become a habit, or I think that sleep deprivation is okay, is part of the hustle culture, or it's okay not to sleep enough during a certain period of life, then that is a problem area for which I will have to suffer. So there will be hormonal disruptions, there will be obesity problems related issues, diabetes related issues, cardiovascular issues, all starting from the fact that I am not sleeping enough. So sleep deprivation is a dysfunction which results into so many metabolic disorders for which you may need to take medicine. So yoga comes in right where you have a dysfunction, to identify that dysfunction and to help you handle that dysfunction before it reaches a point where you are depending on medicines to handle it. So this is the idea behind disease and dysfunction. Now, what results into a dysfunction? So functionally strained will generally mean that either a body part is working too hard or it is working in the wrong way. So that is what a functionally strained body part or a function area would mean. Similarly, there is another word which comes is the systematically imbalanced. So imbalance is where different body parts are not working together properly. So if there are two things that should function in tandem, and if they are not functioning in tandem, then there is an imbalance. So systematic imbalance needs to be handled, and if something is functionally strained, that needs to be addressed. So the dysfunction that I am talking about is bifurcated into two parts. One, your one singular body part or body function is strained. Second is because of that strain, there is an imbalance, or two different functions of the body are not being able to perform in tandem. So this understanding also has to happen. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. I'll go back to the example of sleep. So if I am not sleeping enough, then the body goes out of balance. How you can see it is because your hunger gets disturbed, then you are overeating or your hunger signals are off track. When you are not sleeping enough, you will keep wanting to eat more and more. So not sleeping is where you are systematically straining the nervous system, which results into an imbalance in how you are feeling hungry and how you are feeling tired. So that produces an imbalance there. Nothing is broken in the body yet, but slowly, gradually, you are inducing imbalance, and the functionally strained situation which will push you towards a disease. So this is what the discussions will be about. If you have any thoughts, please share. I have laid out the foundation for next 7 sessions, please. All right. Thank you so much for today. Today's discussion was about how we will use these 7 sessions and how upcoming 7 sessions. And primarily, I wanted to share that therapeutic yoga will not mean that I have only a certain set of postures which can impact a certain set of diseases. So this notion needs to be broken down, and I tried to expand upon how we will use this knowledge to as different aspects of my life. So from nervous system regulation to breath regulation to a point where I am more aware of my body. I hope you found the session useful. We will meet again on next Monday with this topic. Thank you, everyone.